Is your man actually thinking about you a lot more than you actually know? Are you on his mind a lot of the time, more than you'd think? Would you like to know if maybe, just maybe, he's thinking about you more than you realize? Hello, my name is Matthew Coast, and welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about 10 different signs that he's thinking about you more than you know or possibly even realize. So, sign number one is that he sends you random messages. And I get this from women all the time, where a guy will send them a message and maybe it doesn't even make any sense, right? A guy just sends him some message and he's like, hey, or he's like talking about the weather, or he's talking about something that he's doing right now. Doesn't matter what he's doing there. A lot of times women will be like, why is he doing this? Why is he sending me this message? What's he trying to say? What does it mean? Right? And it just means that he wants to connect with you. He wants to connect with you over dumb things or good things or anything. He just wants to stay in connection with you, just to message you. He might just say hi. He might say, what's up? He might say anything. It's all about connection when he's doing that. And so that's sign number one. Sign number two is that he remembers things about you. So it could be things like little things, right? Like things that you mentioned, preferences, any kind of little thing that might be there. If he starts remembering things about you, like what you like to eat or what you like to do or what you're into, what music you listen to, any of that kind of stuff, things that smells that you like, clothes that you like, any kind of stuff, there's a good chance that he's actually thinking about you more than you actually know. And he's probably thinking about these things outside, right? And there's probably things that remind him of you because he sees that and he's like, oh, sushi. You know, I know that Bridget loves sushi, and and so he's thinking about you, right? Like all of these things are good things, by the way, assuming that you like the guy too. If you don't like him, maybe these aren't that great things. But if you do like him, these are all really great things. If you're with us right now, say hi in the chat and tell us where in the world you're watching this live stream from right now. It's cool. We have women from all over the world watching these live streams. It's really cool to see where everybody's from. So number three is that he responds excitedly or quickly. He responds really quickly. And so if he answers your text messages or your phone calls or your emails or however you guys like to message each other back and forth, it means that he's probably really, really excited to talk to you and he's been waiting to hear from you. Basically, what it means is that he's pushing all the other things in his life out of the way, right? Because he's probably doing other things. Ideally, he's got a life outside of you. And so what's happening is your message comes and he's like, oh, whatever's going on, I'm going to push that out of the way and make her messages a priority. And so he messages you back really quickly, which means that he's probably thinking about you. He probably really, really likes you a lot, and he wants to make you a priority, at least in this standpoint, from a messages type of a standpoint. So there's some dating advice out there that says that you should never initiate text messages with a guy. And by the way, I do not agree with that advice at all. I think it's good to message back and forth. Even if you send out a message to him and you initiate a text message, I don't think it's a problem as long as there's a good ratio. And I talk about that in detail in the Forever Woman program. The best relationships are built together. But if he's responding really quickly to your messages, even if they're kind of time apart from each other or whatever, then it's a good sign that he is thinking about you, that he misses you, and that he likes you a lot, and he wants to make you a priority. All right, so number four is that he shares embarrassing things that guys don't normally share. And so why would a guy share I hear this from women sometimes in our community. They're like, yeah, he was talking about this, and it was kind of like this weird thing that I didn't think guys would normally talk about. And so why would he do that? Why would a guy share things that guys don't normally share with you about himself or about his life or about whatever. Why would he do those things? Here's the reason. He wants you to like him for who he is, the way that he wants to like you for the way that you are, beyond just the mask, behind the mask. He wants to open it up and show you who he really is, and he wants you to like him for who he is and fall in love with him for who he is, which is a good sign, right? These are all good signs, by the way. And so he'll start telling you things, and they're kind of risky things, right? Anytime you open up and you're vulnerable with somebody, it's risk. You're taking risk, which is a very, very important part of attraction and investment. Things that he normally wouldn't share, things that guys wouldn't normally share, so that you can get to know him a lot better. And he's probably spent some time thinking about these things and which things he wants to share with you, because sometimes you don't want to like share too much too soon and all that kind of stuff. So if he's doing that, then he's probably thinking about you more than you think that he probably is. Number 5 is he talks about you to his friends or to his family. This is you. I mean, guys can do this. Actually, some guys do this even with their parents, with their friends, with their family, that kind of thing, with, women that they're dating, especially women that they really like, that they're dating pretty early on in the interaction. So if he's talking to his friends and family about you, that means he's probably thinking a lot about you more than you realize, and he wants to get a secondary opinion. And guys usually do this because what happens with a lot of guys and a lot of women and a lot of people in general is that if we really like somebody, sometimes our judgment will cloud what it is that we're thinking and what's going on with us. And so we want to get like a third-party opinion about what's going on with you and the interactions between us to see if they think that you're a good person for them to date, or if there's any red flags that they're missing or any of that kind of stuff. And so, it doesn't necessarily mean, I just want to throw this out there real quick, and it's that it doesn't necessarily mean that things are really serious with each other, but he probably wouldn't be sharing these experiences with those people if he didn't at least have some importance with the interaction that the two of you had. All right, so number 6 is that he interacts with you on social media. And so this is one of those things where a lot of times women give too much weight to it, and they freak out about little things like, oh, he's online, but he's not interacting with me, so he must be talking to somebody, which, by the way, social media wants to show everybody that you're online, even if you're not, because it builds engagement and keeps people on the platform and keeps people interacting through the platform. So you can't trust social media and who's online and who's not online, all that kind of stuff. We actually just had a woman in the community yesterday who was talking about how these women are following her man on social media. And she's like, I don't want no women to be following my man on social media. And it was like, well, is she following them too? And it's like, no, but they're following him and it's a problem, right? And my suggestion is don't freak out that much about it, right? Social media is one of those things. It's like this weird, like alternate universe or something where a lot of things don't mean the same thing as they do in real life. And so it can be a good sign if he's interacting with you, if he's looking at your stories, if he's liking your posts, if he's commenting on all your stuff and all that. But it can be a really, really good sign. But you want to focus on the real world. You want to focus on meeting up. You want to focus on your interactions with each other in real life over everything else. That is the most important thing that is out there that's possible. But if he is social media stalking you, that is good evidence that he's been thinking about you and he wants to learn more about you and he wants to find out what's going on with you and what you're up to. So just don't put lots of weight into it. Some women get, like I said, some women get wrapped up in it. Don't do that. We're on number 7. Number 7 is things around him remind him of you. And so this is one of those things where maybe he doesn't have a whole lot of choice over what really reminds him of you, but it's things that he interacts with makes him think of you. And I actually talk about this in my Love Frames Toolkit program about how to create this. It's something called the obsession frame, where you associate different things in his world to you, so that when he's driving, when he's at work, when he's doing normal things during the day, it immediately kicks in and he starts thinking about you automatically, and he can't get you out of his head. It's a really, really powerful thing to do with him. So there may be things that he sees throughout his day that make him think of you, right? Things that just remind him of you. Could be, things that are out there that he imagines how you would interact with those things, or if you like those things, or if he gave you something, what you would think about it, just any of that kind of stuff. And the way that you can find this out and you can see this sign is to actually ask him. You can ask him about this. Just ask him if there's anything that reminds him of you when you get a chance to ask him this, and just see what he says. Say, hey, is there anything out there? Like, do you ever see something that reminds you of me? Right? Especially if you guys have been interacting or dating for a little while, you can do that and just find out what it is. And if there isn't many things, or he doesn't really say that there's anything, you can create those things, and it can be really, really powerful. All right, number 8. Number 8 is he sends you good morning and good night texts. I'm not a big fan of everyday good morning and good night texts, right? Because of something called the law of familiarity. And over time, people start just taking things for granted that they get all the time. It's like a song. If you hear a song that you really like and you find the song, you're like, yeah, this is the best song in the world. And you listen to it all the time. And over time, what ends up happening, if you download it and start listening to it on repeat over and over and over again, it still might be a cool song, but it's not as special as it once was. However, if you stop listening to this song and you hear it again, then, just randomly a few weeks later or whatever, it might have more of an impact again. And so it's better if things are spaced out. It's better if things are random. It's better if you're doing these things less often than every single day and on a predictable timeline. You don't want to be predictable with a lot of these things. But if he's doing it to some extent, then it's a really, really good sign that basically he's been thinking about you on a deeper level and been thinking about you, and he wants to connect with you, and he's just excited to talk to you, and it gives him an excuse, right? We're talking about number 1, where he might send you something and it doesn't even make any sense. Well, the good morning and good night text, one of the reasons that people do those, and it's so common among so many cultures, is that it's a good excuse for you to contact another person and reach out to that person and connect with them, right? And so it gives that somebody an excuse to do that where they might not get it before. Okay, so number 9, let's talk about number 9. Number 9 is he tells you that he's thinking about you. So this one is he admits it. He straight up tells you that he's been thinking about you, or maybe he might tell you that he misses you. If he's admitting it, you know that it's almost certainly a lot deeper than what he's even saying. And so he's telling you it, but it's even deeper than that. And he probably really, really, really misses you, and he's been thinking about you a lot. All right, so number 10 is he goes out of his way to make you happy. So men want to make women happy that they care about. And so if he wants to make you happy, he cares about you. So he might get things that he knows that you will like. He might take you to do things that he knows that you'll like. He might wear things that he knows that you'll like he might wear clothes. If you're like, oh yeah, I really think it's hot when guys wear that, or guys wear this, or guys do this, right? He might start doing those things because he wants to make you more attracted to him. He wants to make you happy. He wants to make you feel good. He wants you to associate those good feelings with him because he cares about you, and he thinks about you, and he thinks that you're really amazing and awesome, and he wants you to feel the same way about him. And so if he goes out of his way to do things or wear things or any of that kind of stuff that you like to make you happy, you know that he's probably thinking about you. So here's my question for you. What are some ways that you know that a guy is thinking about you? What are some things that guys have done before in the past? What are things that you'd like guys to do that would show you that he is thinking about you? And I'm going to go over the 10 signs here one more time. So number 1 is he sends you random messages. Number 2 is he remembers things about you. Number 3 is he responds quickly to your messages or calls or whatever. Number 4 is he shares embarrassing things that guys don't normally share, but he does it with you. Number 5 is he talks about you to his friends or family. Number 6 is he interacts with you on social media. Number 7 is things around him remind him of you. Number 8 is he sends you good morning and or good night texts. Number 9 is he tells you that he's been thinking about you. And number 10, he goes out of his way to make you happy.